I think one of the only things worse than being robbed is when you're robbed and you don't even realize it. What's up, music fam? As music creators, we've been robbed, lied to, and literally just played in so many ways for so long that most of us have just gotten used to it. Now, a lot of us have finally started to see it, but it's gone so far that I think most of us have just accepted it. But we don't have to. I'm back, making another R&B beat, as I tell you 5 ways as a music creator that you've been robbed and lied to, and what you can do about it. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's inevitable. Things change, and times change. And I'm blessed to be able to say that I've been making music long enough to see a lot of those changes in the way that music is created and shared. And I can tell you that the changes that we're living through right now are not normal. Past changes to music creation and the music business were always beneficial, and they always move music creation and the business forward. But somewhere around 2010, I started to see changes that would devastate the livelihoods of music creators forever. One of the biggest lies that we've been told is that people don't want physical copies of our music. I can still remember the excitement of opening a CD or a tape and experiencing an artist's work. I would go into the store and purchase that album, and I couldn't wait until I got back into my car to rip that plastic off and experience what that artist had to say, and to feel what that artist wanted me to hear. I knew that whatever I was about to take in was a new, fresh, and different take on music. I knew that I was about to share an experience with that artist, and that I would remember that album and that artist for the rest of my life. Let me know in the comments, how many new artist albums or even names do you think you'll remember for the rest of your life? I remember when 8-tracks replaced vinyl, or tried to, and then cassettes replaced 8-tracks, and then CDs replaced cassettes. But then something really weird happened. The quality of CDs that we could run right from our home computers was so good that for the first time ever, independent artists and labels could directly compete with major labels. Independent artists and labels started burning copies of their own music and selling them directly to their listeners. This was a golden era, not only for indie artists and labels, but also for indie producers, engineers, and studios, and the entire infrastructure that supported indie music. If the major labels didn't put a stop to this, their sales would plummet, and they did. The truth is that people never really stopped desiring to have a physical copy of our music. I know this because people still buy mine. Hey music fam, before I get too deep into these beats, I want to let you know that I finally released my very first loop pack, Melo Signature R&B Loop Pack, Volume 1. This is my collection of 123 original R&B loops and stems that I'm very excited to announce, because this is something a lot of you have been asking for a while. You can take a listen, and if you like what you hear, purchase at the link below. And as always, I want to thank you in advance for your support. Second, we've been robbed financially, because when we thought we could no longer sell our music, how could independent music creators make a living? Before the majority of music was streamed, it was so easy to make a living as a music creator. A producer who had his own home studio could get as much business as he could handle. Independent artists were able to do shows and sell their music. And the love and support shown to those independent artists who worked to make good music was amazing. And so we worked hard to perfect our crafts, because we knew that the music that we were working on would be listened to and critiqued. But because most independent music is being uploaded to digital platforms and just sitting there not ever being heard, music creation now seems to be more of a hobby. Because what's the point of making really good music if it probably won't be heard and you can't make a living from it? But there is a solution, and we actually can make a living from our music. And that brings me to the third way that we've been lied to. We've been told that our music isn't valuable, and we believed it. Because music is so readily available and literally being given away, it seems to be worthless. But that's not true. Think about this. A diamond is still a diamond when it's surrounded by other diamonds. We just sell that diamond for less because there are other diamonds around it. That's perceived value, not real value. Yeah, that diamond might have a lower price tag, but that's because humans put that price tag on it. It's still the same diamond with the same potential to cut metal and glass that it had before. Though our music is perceived to have less value because of saturation, it still has the same power to heal, affect change, and spread love that it did yesterday. But before the masses can understand the value of us and our music, we as music creators have to remember and understand who we are and the power and responsibility that's been given to us. Now, this fourth lie that we've been told might sound controversial, but as an R&B producer, I have to address it. As music creators, we have to stop with this whole dated music thing. Now, we'll understand that quality should get better over time, and it's perfectly fine to add new elements to our music, but that doesn't mean that a piano won't always be relevant. A guitar will always be relevant, and it's crazy to think that those things will ever not be relevant. Listeners will never get tired of real instruments, because those are literally the tools used to make music. But music creators argue about what's relevant and what's not, as if we're making music for other creators. I heard somebody in an interview say that even Herbie Hancock doesn't want to play a Fender Rhodes anymore because he thinks it sounds dated. But the moment we as R&B creators stop using a Fender Rhodes, a piano, guitar, bass, strings, synths, whatever, someone else will come in and make music using those same elements and give it a name like K-pop, or pop, or something else. That's why people were saying that R&B is dead, because we fell for the lie that our music was no longer good enough, that it was dated. As long as we make good quality music and we're not afraid to move forward, our music will never be dated. Now, all of these issues I've spoken on have been going on for so long that most music creators have just given up and accepted it. And that's maybe the biggest lie that we've been told, that we simply can't do anything about it. Listen, you might think that music is just one of those things that just exist in life, like fishing or sports or hiking. No, we've been blessed with this amazing thing that can go places that even words can't go. Music can save lives. Music is not a hobby or a job, it's a responsibility. So as music creators, we have the responsibility to pick ourselves up, remember who we are, and value what we do. And that's the first part of the solution. We simply need to realize the value of our music. Once we've done that, we can then demand that those who consume our music value our music as well. But the truth is, our listeners are really not that far gone. I realize that on a regular basis when I sell my music. And you can do the same. The solution is really as simple as making music and selling it. No middleman. As music creators, we can simply just make music and put it in the hands of people who want to hear it. It's true. We've been robbed and lied to. I think one of the only things worse than being robbed is when you're robbed and you don't even realize it. But now, it's time for us to see the truth and take back what's rightfully ours. Alright, music fam, that's all for now. But if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, you all be blessed.